or give me death. I'll fight till the end, till my last breath. Give me liberty or give me death.
This is my Bible. I am what it says I am. I can do what it says I can do. Washed in the blood. Sanctified. Filled with the Holy Ghost. Of sinners. I'm about the chief. Christians are not perfect. They're forgiven. And I'm not coming in on any righteousness I have. Everything I got's just filthy. But I'm coming in hid under the wing of the shadow of the Almighty. You know, they've been picking at the Republican, or the Tea Party lately. They've been picking at the Tea Party lately. And you ought to stop, because you got some serious problems. It's behind the Tea Party is what we call the Black Robe Regiment. And you need, it's over. It's over. These kids coming up today have nothing. You've taken them and you've pushed them and taken everything they own or will have. You're enslaving them. You're farming them. And it's going to stop. We're 50 independent sovereign states plus territories. Newt Gingrich, heard what you said at CPAC, and you're right. Obama's just a pawn. He's a distraction. You got 46 senators in that Senate that need to go down. Now, you and Rick Santorum did it before when Rick was a freshman in the House. And you could do it again. What you need to do is, instead of going into this thing competing against each other, the four of you, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Rick Santorum, and yourself need to form a cabinet. People need to go to jail. Benghazi will not be forgotten. You went into Libya, you destroyed and they destroyed and invaded a country, not you. Obama went in there with the UN, invaded a country, our friend, who posed no threat because he was not your yes man. And you destabilized Libya. Then they withdrew all the security around the ambassador till he got killed. Conveniently on 911. Do not tell me that was not planned. Knew it was coming. There were some 200 attempts before that on that compound. And then you want to give they want to give Pelosi's husband more money for better security? I think not. The security there was fine. You withdrew it. You took it out. We needed boots on the ground, not a pillar box. But it never would have happened had you not destabilized that nation. Now, Black Robe Regiment is forming. It's not going to lay down. It's not going to back off. So I suggest you listen to the Tea Party because I believe everything they're saying and I believe they're doing it the right way. But we had good lives. How's that saying used to go in the 70s and 60s? We're fired up. We can't take it no more. You remember that? Remember that? I do. And this racial crap's got to stop. Because only racism is what you created. I had my black power patch next to my white power patch on my denim vest. Wasn't no racism back then. The only people that were having problems was where you bunched them all up like animals in the city, and all them politicians were drawing housing, were building housing for them, becoming millionaires, and keeping them in like rats trapped in a cage. People need to be out, open. Every time somebody starts to get ahead, you send the EPA, OSHA, etc. in and come against it. Just busted a farmer down here because they didn't like his bin, OSHA did. $100 and some thousand fine on a farm. How's he supposed to pay that? And you got other things you put up. All these things do is make it possible for a couple of people to make all the money. Every time somebody starts to get ahead, boom, you knock them out. Trucking companies. Truckers got more rules than a doctor. You don't police doctors as much as you police truckers. That's gotta stop. Used to call them chicken coops, them scale houses. Now we call them Nazi checkpoints. That's what they call them. And global warming, trillions of dollars. What are you gonna do when the people find out that diesel engines were designed to run on hemp? That stuff grows like a weed. You're out here, doing this, subsidizing that. You could throw hemp out here and have all the fuel you want. Liars! We're tired of it. Biofuel. What's wrong with hemp? Put it out in World War II when you needed it. Now the big shots want to be in control. Well, you're not. We can't be controlled. We are not animals. You can put a cow into a pen and he will not object. He will lay there and die and starve to death. You could do that to a pig. They might for a little while try to bust out, but they will eventually lay there and die to death. Human beings are not to be farmed. Y'all need to get to repenting, because I pray to God your whoreheads cannot go down in grave in peace. I pray to God that you people that are doing this, and if you do nothings, that your whoreheads go down in the grave. You're worse than prostitutes. You're worse than a prostitute. You're like a woman or a man that takes their spouse's gain and goes and gives it away. You take the American people's prosperity that God gave them. So not only are you ripping off the American people, but you're betraying God, because God gave it to us. In 1948, England was supposed to restore Israel. They did not do it. We did. Look at any economic graph. From 1948, this country did nothing but prosper. It wasn't until we stopped back in Israel and being hard with Israel that we started to slink back. See, England was supposed to restore them and they welched. Look at England. We had to bail them out. You guys need to wise up. So I'm telling you, you're worse than prostitutes. Calling you whores and harlots and subhuman mongrels is a compliment. That dog behind me's got a better pedigree than you guys do. He's got a birth certificate too that's legitimate. Can be verified with his DNA. And subhuman mongrel was a compliment. You know, I don't know how to explain this to you. A prostitute goes out. She says, give me some money for this. Use, go and throw all the American people's money to other people who hate us. They have democracy and a republic is nowhere in their thinking. And you squander it away. You give it away. Just like a spouse, where the other party is working hard and building something for them, and they go out with their gigolos and their prostitutes and take the family's money and squander it. Okay? America's like a cookie jar. Okay? You keep going in and taking the cookies. And then we're sitting on enough mineral and resources, oil, gas, that the taxes from what they extract could pay off the national debt. Yet, you're determined to rape the other countries for a handful full to get rich. Needs to stop. Then you figure you're going to just make America, well, guess what, be 800 years. And then those of you who think you're smart and you're running with that party, you better remember something. These people kill the ones that betrayed us, the people first. Because if you betray your own people, they know they can't trust you. So you better quit thinking. You know, got people like Maxine Waters thinks she's gonna be a big socialist. You're first on their hit list, lady. You betrayed your own brothers and sisters. And then in Chicago, we got a tea party coming up because them people are fired up and they can't take it no more.
We don't have a gangs, gun, and drug problem. We have a nepotism, cronyism, and patronage problem.
It's time that we start voting differently.
And every single alderman was a part of this criminal process.
I would call a serious town meeting. The town meetings that those Republicans have called, they call it the Tea Party.
You need to start voting them out.
But I challenge the community, instead of Pharaoh letting us go, black folks, let Pharaoh go.
It does not make a difference whether you got a degree or you a GD. If you're not part of these passion designers, you can't get a job. You can't get a grant. You can't get a contract. So our community is suffering.
We've been trained to vote in a specific manner. Here to say to you that we need to start looking at the manner in which our elected officials have been voting, and say to you, start pulling their voting records. If they have not voted in the manner that is beneficial to you, yours, and your community, then you need to start voting them out.
That's right.
Our aldermen, specifically those aldermen that we voted into office to represent us, have not represented us. It is time that we start voting differently, and I say to you in March that we start voting for those that are going to represent us. Thank you.
There's a lot of people in here who have different agendas and different attitudes, but we did all come together on a peaceful and on a one accord. This was a signal sent to City Hall, to the 5th floor, who
Give me liberty or give me death. I'll stand against tyranny. My soul will never rest. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, there is no retreat but in submission and slavery. We have petitioned, we have remonstrated, we have supplicated, we have prostrated. Is life so dear?